We're live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the 4th episode of the Pashanite Club. Our next guest is a rising internet sensation with over 300,000 followers across all platforms. He dabbles in South Asian style parenting, culture, and religion. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Adam Effect.
Hey, I'm copying myself. What's up, man? What's up, bro?
Good, man. Good. Good to have you on, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you for inviting me, man.
Yeah. So I like to do this one thing with my guests. Is I ask them this one question.
Mm-hmm.
It's, what are you passionate about?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know what's crazy? I actually am passionate about a lot of things, but I think right now the most thing I'm passionate about is what I'm doing right now, which is my content creation, which is on TikTok. I'm always like a guy who likes to act and do skits a lot. So I think presenting myself in the medias in a more impactful way is more of my passion.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully in that passion you can go in different ways with maybe hopefully in the future clothing brands, brand deals.
Kind of like building a brand around
exactly.
what you're passionate about. I think that's sick because that's like very similar to what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Kind of like picking what I like and what I love because it's my passion, and then kind of putting them into a brand and kind of building that to leverage it in whatever way you want to go through.
Yeah, exactly. I think when you're passionate about something, I think all the avenues that you want to do later on comes towards you and that's going towards it.
Wow.
So yeah,
that's actually a really nice way to put it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, man. I'm telling you, bro. It's I think that's the number one thing. Without passion, what's the purpose of life, right?
Purpose of life, 100%.
Yeah.
And kind of thing with this whole going to the entire thing of passions and stuff. When I was younger, I was always someone who was like talks a lot. Kind of what we talked about this outside, but I loved asking questions, and I always told myself like, yo, whatever it is, at the end of the day, I think all these convos that I'm having, I'm gonna have something with it. And I told myself, I was like, the delusion of like young Noman being like, yo, I have to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have something. I just knew it was like that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to have a platform. I'm going to like have a show. I'm going to have some type of way I'm going to put my word out and people will listen. And I think it was that delusion when I was younger. It kind of got me to this place that I'm now. Mm-hmm. And you can call it whatever, but I was like, kind of kept telling myself like, no, man, you'll do it.
Yeah.
And then kind of going from there, it's like, how did you know that this was kind of something you wanted to do?
You know what? It's funny. Out of everyone in my family, I was the most dramatic kid in my whole family, and I used to do so many things that would try to get attention from people, right? And you know what's crazy is that my TikTok is based off of storytelling, right? And all of my families they're very creative in their own ways. Like they're very musical people, right? They're very good at singing or either like dancing or what do you call it? Like, just playing an instrument in general. For me, like I realized that music, like me and my family are very, very talented in some ways, right? And for me, like for some reason, I don't know, I just like to be in front of the camera. Yeah. And my biggest childhood dreams ever was to be an actor. Oh yeah, right? Yeah, it was like one of those childhood dreams. Oh, like people are in the movie. Exactly. Yeah. So, but the thing is, obviously, at the end of the day, like sometimes things go a different way. And when I started TikTok, like I was just naturally into it, and I used to make skits and like act it all out all myself. I became the mom, the daughter, anything else like in that I can be. But it kind of satisfied my needs when it comes to an actor. I'm like, okay, at least I'm doing TikTok and 300K people like what they're watching. So I was just satisfied in the whole acting stuff. So
that's like, no, because I think with your content, like it has like an amazing amount of feelings behind it. I feel like you did an amazing job connecting with your audience, right? It's like, into like a deeper level. Like, where do you draw your inspiration from for these contents?
Real life events. One thing about me, when I was doing TikTok, I was like, number one thing, I'm not going to do any thirst traps or any lip syncing or dancing.
It's like it's like all storytelling, just good storytelling.
The thing is like the way the procedure went to where I am now was when I was in the whole dilemma about like, oh, I'm not getting that many viewers, right? But when I started doing this in 2020 around COVID time, like I had nothing to do, right? And I was turning insane. I was like, what do I do, right? And basically, like I just started TikTok, and it just led up from there. And I realized like what people don't know if they are starting TikTok stuff just for fun, but they should know that when you're doing a TikTok, you won't get the views right then. TikTok is more like an investment. Yeah. When you invest in something, and over time it gets better and better, and it gets more views. It's the same thing with TikTok. When you post something, you can make the most amazing TikToks, and you can get stuck at 500 views. Okay. Right. But if you let it there, let it sit, and you make more content creation, that will build up and have more views afterwards.
Yeah, I think I remember talking to you about this. You said that once you post something, no one, don't worry about it. It's after like say 10, 12, whenever one thing pops off, it's like a ripple effect of everything else.
Yeah. Like you're not gonna get famous if you have only like 2 TikToks just posted, right? So.
100%. And I think you've been posting since 2020, like 100% there's like challenges that come from there. What are your biggest challenges that you might have seen? Both like, I think, because you do a lot more content side of things, like what's like family lifestyle. So did you see like the backdraws of both, like not only with maybe just insecurities, but also like with family and stuff like that?
Yeah, 100%. Most of the TikToks I made was a lot of vulnerabilities that I've seen in my whole family and other families as well. Recently, I've been posting a lot of content creation about siblings, like older siblings, younger siblings, middle siblings, and so many people are relating to it, and I just basically capitalize off that.
And kind of made the market off that, right?
Yeah, market in a sense. I mean, I think for me, I'm in the situation right now, I don't really care about the likes and the views. I just want people to know that I'm hearing your problems and I'm understanding what you're going through, because I'm an older child myself, and I have 2 younger siblings as well, so I know what they're going through, right? I'm very observant over everything. So
I think that's part of being an older brother. Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like a role model or like a leader. It's like you have to understand both people's feelings. It's like, okay, you know what? Like I'm gonna do me, but I'm also look at you doing you because I'm responsible over you.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
Like, I feel like your TikToks too, bro. Like one thing I love about them is like the middle child one. I'm like, yo, this is it. He's so spot on.
Yeah.
And then the next one, it's like him gassing up older child. I'm like, bro, pick your poison. I'm out here. I'm like, yo, I'm trying to do like. I'm like, no. He gets me. He's a middle child. I'm like, wait, no. He's also oldest. He's youngest. He's a sister.
They're like, yo, what sibling are you? And I'm just like, dude, I'm everywhere. I know every single thing that's going on. I know your life, right?
Yeah.
It's just that so that one's really, really like getting bigger right now because so many people are relating to it. And like for example, like the older sibling seen as the villain, the middle child's always forgotten.
Yeah.
And the youngest one is always the one getting compared to their older siblings because they've done everything. So I'm really enjoying doing that stuff right now.
How did that impact your, what's it called, like with your balance, like your relationships at home now? Because now that, it's like one thing is that people are unaware. I feel like that's what we always say. It's like, oh, the ignorance of like, it's like you just don't know what's happening. You don't get, you don't know my life. But now you come in saying like, I know you, I get you, let me relate to you, let me cry with you. And now that you've inputted that into your household, how has that like affected that entire environment?
You know, the funny thing is they're just like, stop making TikToks about us. No, but they're just like, yeah, like what you're doing is true. Like a lot of people do relate to my siblings and my mom. They're just like, yeah, like, like the videos you're making are making sense, and a lot of people and you have so many viewers and likes because of it. Keep doing what you're doing, right? And I don't think one thing about them, they've always been supportive.
Yeah.
And even indirectly too, they let me what I want to do, and. When they see my videos, they're actually my number one. They watch my stuff. They like it. They're like, oh, yeah. And they're just like, just because of us, you're famous because of us.
They hit you with those ones?
They hit us with those ones, yeah. So
that's amazing. I feel like with that certain thing of you being the older child and everything with that, it's also we are from the South Asian brown community, right? Pakistan or Indian.
Yeah.
Do you feel a certain degree of like a duty-slash representation to the community now?
What do you mean, like elaborate on that?
In the sense that, like, when I started, I was like, like I'm doing this shirt, but I feel like now that you're posting, you see brown people everywhere and things like that, but I feel like to a degree, I feel like I represent them now. It's like a lot of people, like even my friends told me, it's like, bro, it's like, I love seeing a brown guy go up. And it's like, not even trying to get racial into it, but it's just like, you just feel like a certain level of like, you know what, like, there's people watching, but there's also a kid, like, now you have people, and like, say, you started in 2020 when you were what, like 21, 22?
Yeah, around that time.
Or even people younger than you, they're like, yo, I want to do something other than the typical things that we've always been told. It's like, oh, sick, look at Adam Effect. Like, oh, he's actually doing something. It's like what you see a lot of like other people doing. It's like now we see like a familiar face. Right. From there, has that drawn into any type of like sense of responsibility from that?
Yeah, like, what's crazy? All my requests are so many people from like the brown community. It's like, yo, dude, like, I understand completely like what you're saying. Like I've been through this so many times, and they actually open up to me about their problems.
Really?
Yeah, and I help them out as much as possible and talk to them and make them feel like like, hey, listen, like I listen to you. I'm understanding. That's why I make these videos. I hope you can relate to it. But yeah, like it does have a responsibility to the South Asian community. But that's my goal is to be responsible for every single community outside of South Asian. I think I don't want to be like a narrow-minded.
Just an only brown.
I want to be like known everywhere else too. But
I feel like a lot of people what they do is they do get stuck up on that. It's like a lot of times in creators wise as well. It's like you get so niched into the like South Asian, like the Zeta Lee, like when we used to grow up watching.
Yeah.
And that becomes your entire brand.
Exactly.
And it's very hard to, like, once you build that, it's very hard to get out of that. I think you kind of go with everything. It's like you pull apart things with religion, you pull apart culture, and you kind of like manifest into like one thing. Right?
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being one niche, but for me, I think personally, like I mean, I'm a chameleon, so I know how to adjust to a lot of areas and people and stuff like that. And I think just doing content creation where everyone can relate to it, that's more than enough for me. But yeah, for the South Asian community, 100%. Like I do feel like I have a responsibility of hopefully educating even older generations and watching my videos of like, okay, like do my kids actually feel this way? Can I? Yeah. Why are they sending me these reels? Like, why are they sending me these TikTok videos? Is this like a indirect like version? I'm a shitty parent. Like, you know, it's like that. Yeah. But
is it weird with family gatherings now? Is it
like not really. There is. You know what? It's more normal. It's always normal with them. It's just they just see me as a kid who grew up in front of them. So when they talk to me, they do ask me about my TikTok stuff and questions here and there, but other than that, it's been just normal.
You haven't gotten like negative wise of things? It's because that's the whole thing about vulnerability, and your parents have been super supportive of it, but they've never been like, no, this is not true. No, what are you doing? Why are you talking about us like that on a platform with so many creators?
Yeah, I did get some messages here and there that is negative. Obviously, I'm getting negativity from from people. But I always say to myself, and actually my friend told me this, but he said, like, if you're getting negative comments, then you're doing something right.
Yeah, 100%. You know? 100%.
Yeah.
Did you have that insecurity or that like the anxiety of posting the starting?
In the starting? Yeah, I was, because you know what it is? It's just like when people tell me opinions about me, I can't really take them, right? Oh. So when I posted, my anxiety was through the roof. I'm like, people are gonna make fun of me. They're gonna be like, this guy's making TikToks now?
Yeah.
No, of course this guy's making TikToks. He's like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm just like, oh, damn. But then when the followers started coming through, they're just like, oh, yo, bro, you got a lot of followers. Like, you know, good for you. It just changed, right? Yeah. It's very limited though. Not a lot of people did that, but mostly you make TikToks now. But I'm just like, oh,
but
true.
You know what it is? It's the worst part. It's like even if there's like thousands and sea full of compliments, that one, it gets into your head, and you're like, oh my god, it's like, oh, like why do you do that? And it can be something like, bro, even the guy he might not even think it's that serious.
Yeah.
And it's just like now you have to like battle with like getting the courage and things of doing that.
Right.
Like, even with me, so when I first, I mean, I've been posting a lot of things with like the fitness clips or
things
like that.
Yeah.
And I feel like one thing that struck out to me is like courage is not the absence of fear; it's action despite fear.
Oof.
Right?
Oof. Oof. That was amazing.
I feel like that was the biggest thing for me. It's like, like even throughout life, whenever I had something like very anxiety inducing, whenever I did like that, it's like, okay, like there's only two options. It's either you do it or you don't.
Right.
It's like if I don't, I live with the fact that I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Or if I'll do it, I'll just thug out whatever else happens to me after that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's something that I always had to I keep telling myself till this day, right? And as much as people are like, oh, you already post so much, why are you scared about that? Because like, even with you, I don't know if you still get it, but it's like that little bit of like, okay, chalo, low kya kehenge.
Yeah. You know, it's embedded us because we've been told so many times. Like I know you guys can relate to it. They're just saying, tu kya kar raha hai? Like, what are you gonna do? Low kya kehenge? People are gonna be talking about us. It's not gonna look good for my reputation. Because you're doing this.
Yes. I feel like parents try to tell you that it's like have self-confidence.
Yeah.
But that itself, it's like all love to them, but that hinders and breaks your self-confidence.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they're so unaware of that. And they don't do it on purpose.
They don't do it on purpose.
Like, look out for everything. Like think about the bigger spectrum.
It's funny that you said that because I was just talking about this with somebody, I forgot who, but we were saying that like a lot of our Desi South Asian community are so surrounded by negativity. That's where the Lokya Genge comes from that. Yeah. Because when they hear so much negativity and then you hear something, I heard so many stories how it was such a big what if, like, oh, I was supposed to be this, but my brothers told me not to do that.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it, but now look where they are now. Because I'm not gonna do it. People's opinions ruin their own self-confidence, and they didn't want to do it anymore.
Wow.
Right? So for me, I don't want to be in that situation ever. Like I don't want to be 50 or 60 and I regret my life. At least, let's say I tried something and it didn't work, but I didn't half-ass it. I literally just gave it my all, and at least I did it.
Yeah.
Right at the end of the day.
And you can say you did.
And I said I did it. Yeah, exactly. But like life is such a inconsistent road. Like you don't even know where your life is gonna be at. Exactly. Like I wasn't even gonna be aware I'm gonna be in a podcast. You know what I mean? It was. It's life is such a weird like thing, and I tell my parents and my people like the older generation should know you should take risks and stuff like that because you never know. Yeah. Don't be enveloped in so many negativity because like once you become so negative, it's actually a psychological fact that you don't want to do anything because you're like, why am I going to do this if there's so much negativity in the world?
And then your perspective just changes on everything.
Exactly.
It's like you have this like negative energy inside.
Yeah.
And it becomes so it's so contagious.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, and the same thing with the positive thing, right? It's just like when you can be that guy who always smiles regardless and be like, you know what, it's fine. You uplift that mood in that room. And then when you walk in or whatever, it's like you don't control the environment, but you uplift it. And I feel like people notice that and people gravitate towards that because even when that person's always negative, they see you as like a light and they're like, wow, it's like, bro, I actually love talking to this guy, something about it. Something in me starts speaking about it. It's only thing in perspective. It's like, Cholo, you missed the bus. It's like, oh, bro, 15 more minutes, we can just go chill around. You want to go for a walk? It's something like, instead of like, you know, it's something so small, but so important. And I feel like parents do a great job in like always saying, you know, if you have, I have an optimistic father, super like, yo, always look at the bright side. But even with that, it's also like, they teach you how to, they not teach you as well, they raise you in such a way, and it's so nice, but it's when we start having the low calculating factor as what will people do factor, and it just hits you, and I feel like they don't even realize the effect of it, kind of going back to that, and it just like, it's something that you need to unlearn and then kind of substitute with something else. For us, I feel like it's easy. It might be easy because now we're already in front of it, but there's people out there, and it's like my friends, family, and like they're battling that, and then you're getting to an environment like say high school. Now you're starting high school with that thing. It just doubles down on your insecurities. Yeah,
right? and you know what's funny is that like on TikTok, like we talk about so many how our parents are like it, but the thing is we live in an area where you have to be open-minded, right? Yeah. Some people don't have that. They don't have you know, 100%. Like when they message me, they tell me like their situations and it's really messed up, and I'm just like, damn, like you guys live like this. That's how it is, and that your family, and I'm just like, you know, and I'm always thinking, Alhamdulillah, like it just makes me feel like, you know what, like sometimes even though I always say to myself, even though I have the worst of the problems, there's someone who has it worse than me. Way worse. You know what I mean? So I always keep it humble and be like, you know what, like I'm gonna do as much as I can to like, you know, at least spread some type of like effect again, hence the Adam effect.
Oh, that's what they
towards the people, knowing that, hey, listen, I understand what you're going through. I'm going through this too. Like everyone's going through this. So I'm gonna make a TikTok video about it and see what you guys think about it. And I hope you guys relate to it.
And they do. Right? I feel
and
like
they do.
Shares co-op.
Oh yeah.
It's like, bro, he gets it. Dude,
yeah. So like, it's just that it's so easy now to make a video and like it just blows up. You know, because I've been doing this so long, I just know which one's going to be a hit or which one's not going to be like not. Like recently I did so much about daughters, you know, because I realized like I don't really have that female crowd here and there. So I was just like, you know what, I've seen daughters go through things that it's way worse than 100%, because they don't have the freedom. You know, especially in a South Asian household, they don't have the freedom that we have to go. Like alhamdulillah, like, you know, like I get to go out as much as I can, this and that. I don't have to be back at a certain time, but daughters don't have that. You know, they have a limited time to do something, and, you know, I feel for them, and that's why, like, I made these videos for them as well.
The daughters like it, though, eh?
I mean, hopefully, but, you know, I think it's also makes me more well-rounded as well, because it gives me that emotional intelligence that girls, like, what they go through. So it makes me, like, you know, think about them as well.
100%. We'll be right back with an interview with Adam in just a moment. However, if you guys enjoyed the video so far, please comment down below something you've learned and is taken away. And if you guys want to support me, you can like the video. If you want to support the channel, you can subscribe. Download this on Spotify or Apple Music, wherever it is. You name it, we're there. And yeah, right back to the video.
Do you feel like when you told me you're rebellious, right? Were you the rebellious one, or were you more
rebellious?
Or getting in trouble? Were you more like
I did get in trouble, yes. I did get in trouble a lot here and there.
Do you think that the act of defying, for me at least, what it was when I started high school, I was always someone, like I was always very defying. Like I always be getting in trouble as the middle child or whatever.
Right.
So me accepting the standards of low calculating, it was always so pissed off at me because it was so drilled in. I was so rebellious. I was like, fuck what people say. I'm gonna do it because whatever. And I feel like even that I kind of used throughout my entire high school life. High school till now is like, okay, well, you know what? Fuck you. Like, I'm not gonna live my life on their thing. And I told myself this when I was really young, and terrible because I would always act out. I used to get in trouble with my parents. You know, we'd always be back and forth, and it was such a detrimental quality for me. But it's only now when I look back at it and I look at all the things I've started, look at all the things that I've done. It's like my quality of defying from the initially kind of sprung onto such a crazy plan. It was like, okay, I'm gonna say no to this. I'm like, you know what? I don't care what because for me, when you're a kid, your parents are the biggest thing to you, right? When you get to high school, it's all your peers. But I'm like, I've already defined my parents. Sweetheart, you're really nothing to me. I was like, you think I'm gonna look stupid in front of you? I was like, my mom already mad about me about something. And that kind of rippled effect into its own thing. And it took a lot of reflection and the whole thing about personal development, and kind of took a long time staring in the mirror and be like, okay, well, this is a bad quality,
right?
But this quality is good. But let me hone it to make it such a good way.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was the biggest like lesson that I think my entire life. That was the biggest thing I've learned is you have it's a talent, right? Not almost defying and like not thinking what other people will say and going against the status quo and kind of going towards what you want to go to. And it takes such a long time to learn that or to understand that. And I feel like once you do, just like everything just opens up. Yeah, I think for me, I didn't really defy. I was more like, I was a shy kid. I didn't really defy that much. Yeah, so I didn't really shy. I was shy in public, but and with family, immediate family, I was really, really out there, outgoing. But the thing is, though, I do agree with you. I didn't like to be in a structured setting. It wasn't me. I was like, I get agitated. I'm like, I want to do something. I can't, you know, like like for me, like a 9-to-5 job, like school. Like for me, school was the worst. I did not like school because I didn't understand it. You know, I look around with other kids, they were just like getting it, okay, yeah, this and that. For me, I'm just like, yo, I can't sit for 8 hours in the same spot. Like I can't do this, you know? And I think especially too, so not to, but it's when you don't want to do it.
Yeah, when I didn't want to do, like when people tell me what to do, I don't like it. 100%. I hate that shit. I hate it with a passion. I'm just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. You're telling me to do it. I don't want to do it. You know, like the ones when you're washing the dishes for love, and then your parents are just like, make sure you do the dishes, and you're just like, I don't want to do this shit. I don't do this shit anymore. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like that's what I'm saying. Like for me, I don't like a structured setting at all. I was just in a situation. I was like, you know, and I thought I was like, is there something wrong with me? But then I realized is that it's more of like a self-confidence thing. I feel like I have so much potential. Like, I don't think my life is towards a, you know, regular like life, you know. I mean, I'm just saying it right now, but hopefully I'm manifesting it, you know, in the whole world. But inshallah. I know for a fact that like I can't do like the normal life type of thing. I think I need my life to be
a little bit more
inconsistent.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think even with the whole inconsistencies and everything about people not sitting down wanting to do work for 8 hours, I feel like once you like it, it's so different. And in the sense of going with you, when you start video creation,
right?
I'm sure there's been times where you just had to sit down, write ideas, get the thing, film it. After that, this angle doesn't work, this angle doesn't work. Then I'm going to edit the video. And then you started at 12 and now it's 12 again. Like, you know, a full 12 hours. Like, and you have that. But you're like, I technically just work 12-hour days, but it's like you don't even feel that.
Yeah, because you love it so much. It's just like a hobby. And the thing is, I don't know. I've always been a creative person. Like I never use my like. What do they say? Like the left side is your creative side, and your right side.
The right brain, left brain.
Is the right brain the logic side, or
something like that?
So I use more of my creative side than my logic side. Like logic, it's out the window. There's nothing there. Like my siblings, like yo, like my parents are like, yo, you have no logic in your life. I'm just like, it's just like I'm all over the place. But I think when I TikToks, I actually make the idea when I make it. Like I don't write it down or anything like that. It's funny because when I'm like working on something else or like doing some chore for my mom or anything like that, it just comes to me and I'm just like, that's an idea in my head, and I just do it.
You all fun time. I was like, I am writing this.
No. I don't write it down. I'm just like, it's in my head now. Yeah, so I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna make it like the way I want to do it, and I already know what angles to use, this and that. There are some retakes here and there, but usually it goes in one go. But I mean, I'm having so much fun with making TikToks, man. I think it's such a great outlet to use, and bro, holy, like, thank God for that. Like, you know, because COVID was making me insane, and like, you know, I was in school at that time, and like, you know, everything, and like, you know, when you open the laptop, you just go back to sleep.
100%.
You know, I was just like,
COVID was like such a crazy thing for so many people, but it was the first time in your life that you had to like sit down and look at yourself in the mirror and be like, what am I doing? Because you can't talk to anyone, you can't link anyone, whatever. And I feel like for me, what the biggest thing was when I took back, it was like I just reflected on my entire, because I finished high school or like just finished or whatever, right? 2020. And I took that time to reflect on like my entire life, basically, my entire high school life, and like, bro, I was just like, honestly, like, a sense of shame came over. I was like, damn, like I was ashamed. I was like, there's so many things I did that was bad, so many things that, you know, I may have hurt someone or whatever. And even the man who I was like, where I wanted to be versus where I was, there was such a big conflict.
Right.
And I feel like I finally had the time to like, you know, okay, let me get my things together. Let me start embracing masculinity. Let me start looking at things differently. Let me, you know, really make an effort to make myself better.
I mean, you know what it is. be grateful that you are making mistakes in life and stuff like that. Like you, at least, and you recognize them. A lot of people don't recognize them.
Yeah.
They're, oh, this is what I've done in the past. And people always just think about the past. Like what I did, what am I doing? I can't believe I did. They beat themselves up and they don't want to do anything anymore. You know, like I always say to myself, like, yo, everyone's messed up in their own way. Yeah, I think it's just based on you to change yourself in order to be better, right? 100%. You know, there's so many people who had so many traumas and just, you know, so much like mistakes in their life and just like, you know, I mess up every single time. If I do this, I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm not gonna do them anymore. You know.
I think that's the beauty even with religion, because like, even with the whole thing of you make so much mistakes and you feel like such a burden.
Yeah.
But we both believe in Islam and Allah Subhanahu wa Taala.
Alhamdulillah. Like, Alhamdulillah.
I feel like, bro, like, once the whole thing of like making mistakes, whatever, but when you sit down and you ask for forgiveness and you have the head to your, like, you know, in sujood, and your head to the floor, and you're crying and you're asking for forgiveness, and it's such a beautiful thing that comes out of it, right? And it's like, you're always like, okay, well, this is so peace, this is so tranquil. I'm looking back on my past. And I feel like that itself is like such a what's the word? It's on the tip of my tongue. It's like not confirmation, confession almost. It's
confession,
like,
yeah.
And you look back at the rest of your life, or
like affirmation.
Affirmation. Yeah. Like, okay, well, I messed up in so many things, but now I'm asking forgiveness, and you translate that to like, you know, I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna ask for the Lord. I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna do my 5 times. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna do what I need to do. And you just open up, and I feel like your life after that. You know, those times where you find like khushu in your salah, so you cry a little bit. And then the next
you feel like the weight just lifting off your shoulders. Yeah,
100%.
You're just like you're fine. You're good.
Exactly. And I think even with your videos itself, you do such an amazing thing. Taking faith and putting it into it. How do you think your relationship with faith has changed over time?
I think it just gives me reminders of myself too. Like I obviously I'm not the best Muslim, but I'm trying to be better. And like with that, I think with the videos that I make, like I like giving people reminders as well, and also like, but not be too much into it, because I don't want to like overstep people's like feelings about it as well, like that, because you know, like it can get to the point like, yo, you're saying the wrong things, don't say that, you know. And I am listening to them, and I'm trying to be more reserved about that. But
kind of taking the concepts of it, and it's like kind of like I'm putting that, because that concept, it's like you don't have to be Muslim to follow that. Right? You don't have to be Muslim to respect your Allah, respect the people around you, the woman, the life, and you're chilling. It's like
you know what it is. I think they should know, like people should know that like Islam is not only towards your sujood, your namazes, your prayers, and the Quran is also your characteristic as well in certain situations, right? Like when you're in a situation in Allah, like for example, Allah says like, or you're asking for more patience to Allah, and then He doesn't give it to you. He puts you in situations to make you be patient, you know. And you know, actually, I'll have a conversation with someone about this, but I'm back again with the South Asian community, or any community in general. People do a lot of, I call it cultural Islam, where they take that Islam and then twist it in their own way, and then just pass it on to your kids and be like, you have to do it like this because Allah said it like this, like in a fearful way. You know what I mean? I feel, but the thing is, Islam itself says this is such a different way, and people are just like, wait, that's what it means?
And no one ever takes that time.
And no one ever takes that time. Like, when I was reading like Quran, like they have the English like the translation of it. Like the things they say, like, oh, that's what it means. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
I didn't learn that growing up.
Like
with women and things like that. I feel like even like not maybe less parents, but also your friends and how society. Right. One thing is going against your societal norms. I'm sorry, with your parents, but the societal norms of how men should act, how or men and women should act, and things like that. I feel like once you get closer to God, I feel like my relationships with myself has like prospered to such a degree.
Right.
And it's like, and of course, you know, there's like challenges, and I'm not the best person. I know that, but it's the beauty of the journey.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like you look back at it and you're just like, you smile, and then the people around you are like, I love this about you. I love this characteristic. Well, you know, it's not mine. It's our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Peace be upon him.
Right?
Yeah.
He taught me this. No one else taught me this. It's like, I'm trying to follow. I'm trying to live his life.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy is that a lot of people are just like, oh, why me? Why me? Why am I in such a messed up situation? But then they forget that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, was going through so much trauma that he was just like, you know, when I hear his stories, I'm just like if an average person was going what he was going through, then I don't think, like, you know, like, you know, Allahumma barik, bro, but you know, like, you never know.
100%.
And it's just you know, so putting that in the content and stuff like that, like I try to be more reserved, but I do like seeing other people's like reminders. I like seeing that on my TikTok FYP. But yeah, I think for me, like, I realized I need to keep a more open mind about Islam as well, because like I don't want to be one of those people who just show Desi Islam. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
or like any
Islam,
cultural Islam. You know what I mean?
100%,
Yeah, like I need to know that the whole thing, what's the wrongs and rights, not for your own benefit, but just Allah's benefit. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, exactly. So
that's amazing, man.
Yeah.
And then kind of like lastly, what's next now?
What's next?
Yeah, like are you kind of what's next for the Adam Effect? What do you see?
Man, honestly, like just to expand my social media brand, I guess go through Instagram, make YouTube videos, stuff like that. I mean, that's my goal. And just going from there, I think I'm just taking it little by little. Even though at the end of the day, even though you said I have over 300,000 followers, I am just going little by little. I'm still figuring it out. I'm still local here and there.
Yeah, you have the humbleness too. Like even I remember when I first spoke to you, like in the gym, I was just like, bro, like I was just like a regular guy, and then you find out, bro, I was like,
dude, if I ever do become, hopefully, inshallah, become successful over this, I always tell myself I'm always going to be the same. Yeah. You know, I'm still going to still goofy kid, same humble, same jokes here and there. I don't want to be different or treated different just because of the way I am. I just want to be just the same person, but just have a more good impact in life. I think, even though fame is a fitna, if you do have it in a good way, you can use it for a good way as well. Okay. You know, I think that's the thing. A lot of people, when they get all this money and this fame, it gets to their head, you know, and I don't want to do that. I think when I do that, I think Allah gave me for a reason. Allah gave me, if I do get money off this, hopefully in the next year or whatever, you know, in the future, inshallah, yeah, like it will be in my pockets, but I'll go use that for good, not for whatever stupid things, you know. Yeah, money is money. Money comes and goes. Yeah. Numbers come and go. I think even for followers, even though like you said, 300K followers, I'm like, yo, alhamdulillah, like I got to that point, but it is just a number at the end of the day, you know. And for me, when I make these content creations, it's just
your impact that you
it's just I care about the people more, man. I don't really care about screw the viewers, screw the likes. I just like again, for me, my acting skills, whatever, but also the impact, you know. Like the people came up to me, sorry I cut you off, but people are coming up to me and they're just saying, dude, your TikToks made me cry.
Yeah.
Like it gets me emotional. Like I don't know how did you like know what's going on? Like I can relate to this. It makes me emotional. Like you say real deep shit, and like I love that. You know, make more of that. I'm like, yeah, for sure. That's what my intent was. Because I don't know. It's just like thirst traps here and there. I don't want. Yeah, it's not really my thing. I just doing like real life issues.
I feel like the joy you get from that, or like that pleasure. It's like even with me, it's like when I started, and I had someone be like, they would message me like, yo, I heard this in your podcast. It's amazing. Like, my mind blew. Or like, I feel so happy that you're starting this. It's like, yo, this was my takeaway. This was my takeaway. And then, like you said, the numbers. That one person messaging you privately, be like,
thank you. Like, I love your videos, dude. Like, you, dude, make more of this. 100%. And it just that's all I care about. Like, when they message me and they're like, dude, you helped me so much in life, and not in life, but like you helped me with your videos, and I relate to it so much. I'm going through it, and you speaking about it helped me so much. I thought I was the only one, but you know what? There's so many more people. Like I'm
it's
just
reassuring having that. There's other people in the gut.
Yeah, and like and it's just story one of a million. Like a million other people that can relate to it, and just want to have more impact on that as well. So yeah.
And where can everyone find you besides TikTok? Because where can everyone else find you besides TikTok?
Instagram, 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 the Adam Effect, and the Adam Effect, you know what I mean? I'm gonna be posting more. A lot of people are telling, yo, dude, just post on Instagram now.
Because you can really post the same video.
It's just post the same, just do it, but expand it. You never know. But that's the new goal, man. Just expand it. Be local to, you never know. So
100%.
Come back here. You can be on my podcast. You never know, inshallah. Right? Hopefully we both be in a good situation.
Yeah, 100%.
Inshallah. So yeah.
Appreciate it, guys. That's episode 4 of the Pashanite Club. Thank you, brother.
No problem. Thank you for inviting me, man. Appreciate it.